Hi there, welcome to the Crazy House World Championship. Today we're watching a game from the losers bracket. GingerbreadMan17 versus TheTiltedOne. GingerbreadMan being the clear rating favorite, and the game has already started here, so let's catch up. What has happened here in the first game? The GingerbreadMan17 takes the advantage, takes the opportunity to put his bishop outside the pawn chain. And already here I'm wondering if maybe white could go all in and take on g4. Knight takes g4, bishop takes f7, king takes, and put a bishop on h7 and take back on g4 and enjoy a long-lasting initiative here on the white squares. Let's have a look at that later, because this is pretty much what black wanted, I guess. Just build a small center, very dynamic one, and have the light square bishop outside the pawn chain. So this is where you need to be a bit careful. In case the d file opens, mate is not far away, pawn here, and could easily be mate. But right now the bishop is pinning the knight on f3. So now black gets a slight initiative, chasing the white queen around a bit. I'm wondering if it's not better to just keep the rook here on f8, because moving it to e8 makes the light squares a bit more weak. Ooh. Sorry. So, black has mended his king's position and we're back live. I guess black could just move knight g6, a counter threat. This is a bit more dubious, I would say, because white does have the resources to put something here, but maybe knight d3 is a problem then. But here clearly pawn at f2 is very strong. Simply picking up a rook more or less for free, and another rook as well, and the first rank will be super weak. Why didn't he just take on e1? Because now white can simply move the rook. There is no heavy for h2. And white really needs to move the rook. Because this is just a check. Black can simply take. Welcome those of you who are watching this live broadcast. And now simply bishop d3 should decide matters. Forking two heavy pieces, one of them will land on h2. Or g1 maybe. In either case it's impossible to protect against the mate. So GingerbreadMan switches to d4, switches to, he prefers to move the d pawn. And this is actually interesting. It seems like white got a bit caught by surprise here. I have a lot of questions here. What if white had played pawn at g5, trying to take, simply take on d5? The early c5 pawn maneuver ensured that black has a pawn for a possible attack here on the light squares. And maybe black is running out of moves here. Maybe he should castle soon. But also there is possibilities like knight h5, hitting the bishop here, hitting the knight here. Knight h5, knight takes, pawn takes, and the h5 is open. Well, that was the last chance. Now it seems like black has the more unsafe king. Maybe white can find some attacking chances. And white didn't hesitate here. He thinks he has compensation on the dark squares. But it's not so easy. Black also got an open h-file here. And in case of pawn at h6, black would have just taken with a rook. g5 is hanging, and black will simply give peace for 2 pawns here, and black is doing fine. So black needs to be a bit careful here. Maybe bishop here, something that will strengthen the, or pawn g5 maybe. Just need to get a bit more cover for the dark squares. Or you could even take on d5, bishop takes, and take with a rook on h3 maybe. Because pawn h6, you can simply move the king away. Or is it? I'm thinking pawn here, king here, knight g5. That could be a problem. Surely allowing the mate in one was not the right way to go. How was this position? Yeah, black is just fine here. Pawn g5, one of the moves that I mentioned. And pawn h6 was very strong. Nice find. Okay, what has happened in the opening here? Black plays a traditional piece sacrifice in the opening. But this is hardly the correct follow-up, is it? Maybe knight c5 attacks the queen and controls b7. But I think black has shown his hand a bit early here, hasn't he? And now d5 is hanging. And then e4 is hanging. So black is down a piece. That is 2 pieces. And white can just continue his development. Knight c3, pawn c5 is aggressive, but maybe. And here, just take with the queen on d6. Queen takes d6, bishop takes, pawn takes, and it's all over. Too many threats there. Black couldn't even castle because of knight e7, forking king and queen. A missed chance by white, but it's still super good for white. How do you even cover f7 here? And I mean, white could just take on f7 and swap everything, and then maybe knight d8 check to get a check with the queen on f7 afterwards. And then now the way to do this would be bishop g4, creating a pin, and then simply chop the knight on f5 and then take on f7. So many good moves here for white. But why waste time when you have so many strong moves? White could also put something on e6, a bishop maybe. It's also strong. But simply taking, king takes, and knight d8 check should do it. Oops. And let's say the king rounds in this direction. I think you should use your bishop, not on f7, but on e8 to keep the f7 clear, so the knight can go there if it needs to. And now, do you check with the queen? King takes, pawn here, king c8. How do you finish? There's bishop e6 there. Also pawn c7, picking up a knight. So many strong moves. And this is interesting because king takes is not possible because of queen c7 and bishop f7 mate. So black needs to take on d6, pawn takes. White has a mate in 2 here. Queen, bishop. And he misplayed it. And this could easily go very wrong now for white, because he doesn't have the right pieces. He has a knight in hand, And a knight can't really hurt black in this position. So, dual purpose move, preparing mate on e2, also covering e6. White should check on f4, cover the mate here on e2. And white just overstepped the time limit. 3-0 GingerbreadMan17, who continues with his d4, followed by a kingside fianchetto. And this is better than what white played before, because now he didn't take with the queen and had to retreat. But now d5 is weak. Yeah. So this is super good. Also, he got a check here, and this is already over. Opening a lot of weaknesses here. White should probably just take the knight, and he has a winning attack here somewhere. Pawn g7, knight h5. And another pawn here. Maybe bishop d6 first, just to prevent the king from moving. But let's say queen c7, bishop d6. King here, and knight f4 is mate. Here knight f4 is mate. White missed it, but who cares? He's winning anyway. White can have a little bit of fun here, maybe. If you enjoy tormenting your opponent. I don't understand why black is playing on, really. Rook e7 is mate in 1. 4-0, GingerbreadMan17. Who repeats his piece sacrifice. And this is the problem for white in this position, this pin. But why didn't white just put a pawn on e4 instead? White could have taken with a pawn here, but this is just winning for black again. Threatening pawn c2. And maybe pawn c2 is strong here as well. Black wants to pick up the bishop, and now he can take b3 and then take on c1. But he wasted that opportunity, but he can still take on b3 and then promote. So, not a very good position for white here. Black is threatening, for instance. Queen d2 mate. Yeah. And GingerbreadMan17 has at least a draw in this match. First player who reaches 5.5 wins the match. So the Tilted One needs to win all the remaining games to secure a tiebreak. And this could be favorable for black. I wonder if you should play h5 and then I think that would have been good for black, actually, with the extra pawn in hand. h5 and then maybe even take on h3, pawn g4. Look promising, I think. This is not the right square for the queen. Semi-fork, white can take here, put a pawn on e5, and white's game is already unstoppable. So maybe swap rooks, take d5, and then the knight h6 circus, but wait, white didn't have a pawn in hand, so now he has the pawn in hand also. And it's simply made in a few moves. Let's say the knight takes twice and queen lands on g5, checkmate. And queen g5 mate. So congratulations to GingerbreadMan17, who's through to the next round of the losers bracket. Those who have lost one match are competing in the losers bracket. And who are still in the run here? On the top half. We will see Mills Gambit play Senescent Cell. Notice that Mills Gambit eliminated Jan Lee, but that was just because Jan Lee withdrew from the tournament. Morlock won a clear victory against KJJL and will face probably Suanet in the next game. Clearcast will play the winner of Gornick 123 and Fang McFrost. Master Tan versus Terra 87. Bugzilla takes on the winner between Pawn in Training and the Lone Wolf. Burkow is playing Karagialis, and Sicarius Noctis and G. Rogers are playing. Mugwort will play the winner of Maple Kev and Blitzer 88. Hi there, Gingerbread Man. Are you the same Gingerbread Man who won the match now? In that case, congratulations. Retarded Platypus Mindhunter will play either Anjou Nakamura and Kyle Legion. Blitzbullet is through to not only, what is the round number? 4. He's through to the 5th round. And we'll play the winner of Crazy 8 and Advocate. Yeah, but you want a clear victory anyway. So, Spinal Tap, Tranquilizer, Fumitox, PKNM. We have a lot of interesting matches waiting here for us in the next few weeks. Is anyone interested in playing some casual? I could play a few games of 1-0 in case anyone is interested in playing. Yeah, I saw a lot of interesting matches in the next round. And of course, eventually there will be a candidates tournament. And I'm wondering what that knight is doing on the queen side. Not much, is it? And that's a free horse for me. Thank you so much. And this should be mate in a few moves. It's difficult to defend the G7 square here. I have so much material, and that's checkmate. Let's see what I should do against the fianchetto line. I'm thinking white is a bit weak here on the dark squares, and maybe on the first rank. So let's build up some pressure here on the... Oh, let's give away a queen. Who cares? I had plenty of material there. Surely this can't be good. Looks awfully weak there. I realize I missed a mate in one there. Luckily for me, it's still there. free piece. I like free pieces. Free queen, more or less. That's a healthy knight as well. And I'm thinking I'm going to checkmate here on f2. This is just a slight advantage for white. But a slight advantage is also an advantage. Maybe I have misjudged this position a little bit. Maybe black was better there, simply taking on f3 maybe. Want to play more or someone else? Who wants to play? Yeah, 1-0. It's 1-0 is plenty of time. Even for an old slow has been like me. Let's see if someone else wants to play. Don't be sorry, interesting games. Never played this guy, I think. Let's see what happens. I think this is perfectly fine for black. 2 pieces for 2 pawns and a very exposed king. I'm getting at least a piece back here. And that king is still very much exposed. So, free pawn for me. I like to swing my knights over to the king side. And that looks like a fork, doesn't it? So now I'm up a full piece. Let's just castle. That's a lovely little night fork. And I foresee some problems here after pawn e7 when f7 is hanging. And now, how do you protect all the squares? It's just not possible. Hi there. Thank you. Las Vague. Oh, you are improving. Okay, so who else wants to play? Someone? Venomous in the chat. Is that Venomous from Fix? New Yorkie. Who is New Yorkie? That was stupid. Oh well. I need to use my knights a little bit, I think. The queen was almost trapped. Checkmate. One more game. Someone else playing today? Pawn in training. 9 o'clock against the Lone Wolf. Maybe I will do that game. No, I'm not gonna play rated. And I prefer to play without increment. That way I can at least flag my opponent, which is good for a weak player like me. I guess no one else wants to play, so I'll call it quits. And thank you for watching. Maybe I'll see you later tonight when pawn in training I will play the Lone Wolf. So take care and bye bye.